careful consideration, I have determined that I will not commence removal proceedings at this time. My strong belief is that the will of the voters and the supremacy and sanctity of democratic elections preclude me from any other action. I cannot deny the people of this great city the power to make this decision for themselves. And to those who conclude this decision is due to pressure of many groups or individuals, I say this: you do not know me.
You do not know her, Tom. That was, of course, New York Governor Kathy Hochul announcing she will not move forward to remove Mayor Eric Adams from office, saying it's up to the people, to decide his fate. There's the two of them pictured. Obviously, there's a clear dissonance between all of their thought processes and also the fact that Eric Adams is trying to stick up for everyday Americans who are dealing with illegal immigration. But yes, there's a lot to get into this morning. Good morning to all of you, and welcome to First Edition, only on Newsmax 2. I'm Krisha Lenzo.
And I'm Tom Borelli, in for John Burnett.
Yes.
It's February 21st. Imagine that. How fast did that happen?
Friday. And, you know, I can't even believe we're in the February 21st, Donald Trump's 4 weeks in.
Right.
In terms of all the things he's done. I mean, he's done more than Joe Biden did in 4 years.
Yeah, so. I think they had the press conference yesterday.
Yes.
Something like 73 executive orders, something along those lines. It's just truly amazing.
It's incredible. But just going back to Kathy Hochul, it's funny how she changed course so quickly, Tom. I feel like there was something going on, maybe the pressures.
Well, you wonder where the pressure's coming from, actually. You know, I don't think it's coming from her, so it's coming from outside. Is Obama on the phone? You never know. Nothing happens by accident in politics. That's my view. That's
for sure. So let's bring in our political panel to break it all down and give their opinion as to what happened. Bill Caruso is a Democratic strategist and attorney, and April Chapman is the ambassador for Project 21 and the host of Standard of Truth podcast. Great to have you both this morning.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, Bill, I'm going to start with you because you're the Democrat insider. Your thoughts on Kathy Hochul? She says she wasn't really giving into pressure, but that's hard to believe, especially since her announcement about Eric Adams, it comes right on the heels of her outbursts about President Trump, slamming on the brakes about congestion pricing. What's been going on in the past few days with Kathy Hochul?
A smart decision. Listen, there are some real concerns around the allegations made against Mayor Adams. Regardless of whether he's helping to deal with the immigration problem, two things can be true, but there's some real serious allegations about whether or not he's been compromised in the ability to lead. But the people are going to decide that, not the governor of New York. And I think it would have been an absolute mistake for a Democrat governor to reach in. And there's issues of race and other things, but I'm not going to get into that. This was about democracy and whether the people of New York, who are going to very soon go to the polls and vote, you could turn this guy into a martyr. So I think she made the right political move. I think, by the way, they put in some safeguards, as the governor can do, over budgeting and other things, and that's smart as well. And we're going to let this take the course and let the people decide. That's a really smart move.
April, what are your thoughts on the New York drama between the Governor Adams and, Mayor Adams and Governor Hochul?
I find it so interesting. The Democrats have found themselves in a pickle. If they take action against Mayor Adams, you're going to have one aspect of their party cry racism, right? Because he can't possibly be guilty of something simply because he's black. Then you're going to have another faction that says if you allow this to go forward, then you're bowing the knee to Trump. At the end of the day, the Democratic Party needs to learn that
I think we might be having a little bit of a technical difficulty with April.
Overwhelmingly,
we're not hearing
all
you,
Americans have spoken out and they have said they want
turning back to you, Bill, we were also looking at CPAC yesterday, Tom. It was a big story. We had Newsmax's Rob Schmidt. He was sitting down with Elon Musk at CPAC. Schmidt asking Musk about how the media is treating him. Here's what he had to say.
What's it like from going neutral to being vilified, largely vilified by the media? Like you're,
what? No. Really?
I mean, you turn on some of these channels, brother. I mean, they don't. They're angry at you. Does it bother you at all? Does it get to you?
I mean, when they're chanting for my death, I suppose that's a little, you know.
Not good.
But then, like, the song's not even that good, and it's like you call that a death chant? That's nothing. Please.
Bill, your reaction to Elon Musk yesterday on stage. He was also with Javier Milei, cutting and making
chainsaw.
the chainsaw, making wasteful spending go away, and with his chainsaw. So, what did you make of that interview?
Listen, on either side, and I know the game we play here, but I'm not for this performative nonsense, the chainsaw stuff and other things, and certainly people chanting and all that silly stuff. You know, I think Elon likes this. I really do. I think certain people like being in a spotlight, like the attention, good, bad, or indifferent. I think there are some things that he is doing that are needed for this country. I think they're smart. I say this to you regularly every time I come on. I want to see the real results. We're starting to add up some of these numbers, and they're not adding up. So I'm rooting for success here, but I want to see it. And frankly, Congress needs to get engaged and involved and start sussing through what are good cuts, what are bad cuts, what are sustainable cuts, and then what are we doing with the savings? Is it going back out to the American people? Is it going to pay down debt? Congress has an appropriations process that they failed to act on. It's time to get them back engaged. Let's fix it all. Let's do it.
Yeah. So, Bill, you know, with your comments with respect to cutting spending, I mean, Lee Zeldin at the EPA found that there were billions of dollars that were unloaded in December to these nonprofits for some sort of environmental activism. Do you think that's the right kind of way to manage a budget and manage the executive branch with the American people's money?
No. And listen, you know this has been going on both sides, and you know these pet projects that have gone.
Both sides? Republicans have been offloading money to nonprofits to do advocacy?
There are pet projects in the budget, and you know this, right, that have gone on for years.
Actually, I don't, but inform me.
Sure. There's pork in the budgets. I hope I'm not informing you.
Absolutely. There's a difference between pork and offshoring money to nonprofits to do advocacy.
Sure, whatever they were doing. And by the way, there's different agendas now. Maybe they were helping save the whales. I don't know. But here's the issue.
No, the wind turbines are killing the whales.
Do you want me to answer it or do you not?
I do.
Great. So here's what I say to you. Let's get at it. In New Jersey, we spend billions of dollars pumping ocean sand back onto our beaches, okay? If you live in Omaha, Nebraska, you may think that's ridiculous. If you live here in New Jersey, you think that's a really good investment of money. But let's get at this. Let's start talking about all of these expenditures and what's the value proposition for all of America and why are we doing it? I'm happy to have those conversations. And if DOJ starts it, and this administration started by looking at what we're labeling fraud, waste, and abuse, what may be someone's fraud, waste, or abuse may be somebody else's much needed expenditure. So let's get at it. Let's have the conversation.
But I think to Tom's point, April, and so glad to have you back. We couldn't hear you, although I believe our viewers could, so I'm glad at least they heard. Basically, we've been seeing DOJ make some dramatic cuts here, $55 billion so far, but they haven't really been that outrageous when you think about what they've been taking a look at. So many woke policies, also policies that have funded our adversaries through USAID. So the fact that there's so much pushback, it just shows that the Democrats are very much aligned with these policies, and they're the ones who have been committing these fraudulent expenditures overall. So, I mean, what's your take on DOJ, as well as recent thoughts from Elon Musk as to how DOJ might be providing a dividend of $5,000 to Americans?
I am so thankful for DOJ as this new entity in it's not technically a part of our government, but what we have found is that the Democrats have their hand in the cookie jar, and Americans are now we're being given access to see, wait a minute, this is where our money has been going. The only people who are upset about this are the people who have something to lose, meaning this money has been going to these foreign entities to fund these pet projects from crazy and deranged individuals who just they have a lot of money, which is our money, and they want to use it indiscriminately to spend on things that are not benefiting the American people. And so now that the flashlight has been shown and exposing all of this, the American people are fine. We are glad that this information is being discovered. And I disagree with the other panelists in that, you know, yes, there might be fraud on both sides, but there is only one side that is literally having a whole meltdown. They are crashing out over the fact that the jig is up. People are now holding them accountable, and we're actually going to see what this money is being used for. I'm grateful for the work that Elon Musk is doing. This is what business owners do. Business owners are in the business of increasing profitability, keeping expenses low, and the American people deserve to have access to know what is going on.
Well, let's shift a little gears and maybe something we all could be unified about here. President Trump made an important phone call yesterday. He giving Team USA a pep talk before they laced up their skates to face Team Canada on the ice. Take a listen.
You guys are really talented. I have great respect for hockey players. I'm a hockey fan. I love hockey. The talent, the skill that you have is crazy. And just go out and have a good time tonight. And I just want to wish you a lot of luck. You really are a skilled group of people. It's an honor to talk to you and get out there, and there's no pressure whatsoever. You just go out and have a good time. You're going to win. And we love America. We love you guys. We'll be watching tonight. Bring it on.
Thank you.
Well, Bill, the game turned out the way the United States wanted. I think maybe all of us could agree on that. Your thoughts on that championship game and the overall involvement with that hockey series?
I was rooting for the United States, and I'm happy to hear the president gave him a pep talk on the front end. That last game, by the way, when they played Canada for the first time in the series, was probably one of the greatest sporting events I've ever witnessed in my lifetime. It was absolutely incredible. I'm not really a big hockey fan, but I was glued to from the drop of the puck and then the subsequent fights that occurred. I was glued to it. I'm really sorry the Americans didn't win last night, but it was an amazing series, an amazing game last night too.
Yeah.
Right. It was unfortunate that they lost in overtime. But April, I mean, this was more than just hockey, right? It was Justin Trudeau tweeting out how proud he was of the fans in Canada when they were booing our national anthem. It was Donald Trump making these phone calls. It was the rivalry really between Trump and Trudeau, even though at this point Trudeau's approval rating, I think, is half of Trump's, and he's on his way out. But what do you think of the ultimate result of this game, as well as what it means on the world stage, too?
Right. Ultimately, I'm really not a big hockey fan, but I like that President Trump takes every opportunity to lead. For 4 years, we've lived under administration that we didn't even know who was in charge. The forward-facing face of the commander-in-chief, we didn't really know who that was. But President Trump steps in and he gives the team a pep talk, letting them know that he's in their corner and that he is rooting for them. And it lets the world know that the American national identity is back. The big dog is in charge, and we are here for all of it. Even though they did not win, Justin Trudeau knows. He knows this is probably the only win he is going to experience this side of heaven, because America is back, and we are going to dominate on the world stage. Even though we didn't dominate in that game, we are going to continue to dominate and lead from a place of strength and not weakness.
Amen to that.
Absolutely.
Great summation. Thank you both for joining us. Happy Friday. Bill Caruso, April Chapman, great to have you.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Bye-bye.